we're back now in our final segment of Alive and Wellness. Remember, get in on our conversation. Call us at 1-800-988-TALK. That's 1-800-988-TALK. Now we're going to talk about ways to make ourselves healthy in a holistic way. Our next guest is the author of a book called Dr. Carolyn Dean's Complementary Natural Prescriptions for Common Ailments. It's practically an encyclopedia of holistic health remedies. Welcome for us, the author. Who else? Dr. Carolyn Dean. Good to have you, Carol. You call it complementary natural prescriptions.
Yes, complementary, we feel, is a better term for describing how alternatives and conventional medicine can meet. They complement one another rather than being something else.
Yeah, that's an important distinction. I think your background, you're a medical doctor.
Yes.
So why holistic health? How did you become more interested in that?
Well, I was interested in nutrition and diet and exercise before I even went into medical school, and that was 20 years ago. And then in medicine, for an elective, I took acupuncture. And it was amazing. In the morning, I'd learn about all these incurable diseases in med school, and in the afternoon, this Chinese doctor would cure these people. So I was hooked. I wanted to do acupuncture for pain control, and it worked for that, and it was working for other things. So then I started studying herbalism and homeopathy, mainly to find things that had no side effects.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, and I know you're from Toronto,
yes.
And I'm wondering if you find that holistic health has caught on more in Canada than here.
I don't think so. I think North Americans are North Americans, and we're all into the same thing.
We're all curious, aren't we? Especially now. It's funny you mentioned about acupuncture, and yesterday we had a fascinating segment with some addicted women who were using acupuncture to stop taking cocaine. And the doctor said, I don't know why it works. Are you convinced yet as to why some of these holistic remedies work?
I don't think we have the scientific technology to measure how these things precisely work. I know there's an endorphin theory that when you stimulate an acupuncture point, certain positive hormones are released, and that explains a lot. To talk about meridians and Chinese yin and yang is very hard for the Western mind.
Yeah, to
So
encompass.
we're catching up, though. We'll find the technology to measure it. What we do know is it works, and that's what's important.
For many people it does. We're going to get specific about certain ailments. We have a login on Prodigy. Let's see what they're asking. Dan?
Yes, Carol. We have a question here from a C. Trembeth. Dr. Dean, what attitudes do your colleagues take towards your theories of natural remedies?
Well, what happens with the individual medical doctor, I'm finding, is they really want to help their patients. And over time, I was in practice for 14 years before I went into research. Over time, if you're not helping people and you're giving them drugs that give them side effects, you begin to be concerned. So I think a lot of doctors are just waiting for the scientific proof of these complementary treatments.
Yeah.
They're just waiting. The day after we prove something, people will believe it. Doctors will believe it.
So to need that endorsement, yeah, people need to hear that. Well, let's talk about the findings you've been able to glean from your research. We were talking about arthritis, certainly a complaint of so many people. You have some ideas on how to holistically help.
Right. With arthritis, it just means inflammation or pain in the joints. Some people can get rheumatoid arthritis, which is an inflammatory pain. Some people, it's more in the bones, osteoarthritis. What the feeling is in more complementary medicine, that maybe food allergies or toxins or infections build up toxic byproducts in the body that can deposit in the joints. And a lot of people get relief when they avoid certain foods, or they come off medications, or they treat their infections.
Certain food allergies can be aggravating it then. I'm just looking up in here because, again, the book reads like an encyclopedia. So you look up arthritis and you're telling us what to do for it. You've got meditation as one way to...
Yes, Tai Chi, meditation, something to calm the mind, because if you have any sort of painful condition, the stress of that will cause more pain, and it's a vicious cycle. So you want something to calm you, you want a good diet, you want to focus on natural remedies.
Castor oil.
Castor oil.
How does that work? Compresses or rubs, you say?
Yeah.
Castor oil.
There have been studies on castor oil improving the lymphatic system, lymphatic flow. The lymph detoxifies the body. There was a study using pancreatic enzymes and vitamin C, and those together were actually better at anti-inflammatory pain control than anti-inflammatory drugs.
You know, we keep talking about homeopathy and we throw the word out. It's a kind of a controversial process. Would you describe it succinctly for us?
Homeopathy is dilute medication. That's all you need to say.
But it's the same thing that's giving us the problem put back into our system?
Not necessarily. It can be a herb, it can be anything, but it's very diluted. And because it is dilute, it has no side effects. It's been grandfathered into the FDA so that it is, anybody can use it.
So you feel good about the use of homeopathic remedies?
Definitely.
Okay, let's talk about depression. That's a big area now. What are you finding in terms of herbs and homeopathic medicine?
Okay, I was thinking about adolescent depression and how teenagers are eating a lot of junk food and sugar and not getting proper sleep and all, and they're growing at the same time. Now they become deficient in zinc. And if they ate better and took zinc supplements, often a lot of mood swings in teenagers would clear. Same with postpartum depression. I mean, that's a terrible thing when you have a new baby and you're depressed and you can't enjoy it. Women in postpartum are often very zinc deficient.
Zinc deficient.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot with PMS too and other women's health ailments. Zinc can be helpful.
Right.
What about flaxseed oil? Someone prescribed that for me for dry skin.
Yes, flaxseed oil is gamma-linolenic acid, and it's the good oil that's necessary for all our cellular membranes. So it conditions the membranes of your red blood cells, your white blood cells, all through the body. So it's excellent for many conditions, including PMS, chronic fatigue syndrome, colitis.
Just like a tablespoonful a day or something like that?
Yeah, a tablespoon. I put it on my cereal every morning.
Flaxseed oil. How about that? We've got a caller, John in Ohio. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, hi, I was wondering, is there anything that you know about for hair loss?
Male pattern
baldness.
That it could be your testosterone's at work. There are many things for baldness. I think that's too big a topic.
Do you have it in here?
What do I have in the
Let's
book?
see if you've got anything on the baldness. While we're looking for that, how about insomnia? That's something, a frequent complaint. In fact, somebody logged in on a Prodigy once before about that. Any quickly you could give us a thought or two?
By the time you go to bed, if you're all wound up, if you're planning your next day's projects and they're winding around in your head, it's hard to calm down. Make sure not to eat late, not to drink coffee and smoke too much or drink alcohol before bed. Now that's the reverse of some people. Some people will use alcohol to subdue themselves, but I think that's a false step to take.
You don't have baldness in here, by the way. That'll have to be in the sequel. That's okay. You can look it up. Which is, she does have everything from bedwetting to nosebleed and nausea. I think just about anything you could think of is
I said to someone once, acne de zits, but
Acne
that's not very professional.
Truly that, yeah. Well, this is Dr. Carolyn Dean, and we're going to come back for a few final thoughts in a moment, and perhaps our audience even has a few quick questions for you. Stay with us. Really got a lot of stuff.